like to acknowledge we're on Arakwal land, Bundjalung land in Brunswick Heads, Australia. My name is Kira Kay. I'm Australian born and I've been recently living in Germany, in Berlin, and 20 years ago I was called to Nepal. Really from a heart calling, I didn't know why or for what reason. And ever since then I've maintained a connection and visiting regularly there. Last week I was in Nepal when the earthquake struck. I can't begin to describe the intensity not only of the earth shaking beneath my feet, and I was with 20 of our children at one of our orphan children homes in the village of Sipadol over the hills above Bhaktapur. Within the first moments I realised the magnitude of the disaster that had transpired, because there were plumes of dust cloud starting to rise up from the city and from spots around in the villages. And at first I didn't understand what that was, and then it struck me. These are houses collapsing. In the next days I walked around in the city and I was struck by the people, them inviting me to join them in eating and offering me water, and most of them collected in makeshift tents outside in the open areas. Many of the buildings are damaged, and as you might imagine, many of the people are still very afraid and uncertain. I've been struck over the years by the generosity of spirit of the Nepali people, and to hear and to see the pictures now of whole villages in the rural areas that are so familiar to my heart, of them flattened. I feel like this: how can the people whose homes it is feel? One of the positive benefits that has happened from this devastating crisis is in fact the interconnection that is arising from around the world, the incredible response of many people rising up and saying, we want to help. This is incredibly empowering and touching, and very valuable for the Nepali people, for them to know that the international community is standing behind them. And I can talk a little bit about some of what's happening on the ground. I'm very thankful that over the last years I've developed a valuable network, and there are different NGOs and businesses in Nepal that are already rising up. My Nepali friends come up with the ideas. They come up with what is really needed in the community. Recently we've been looking at doing sustainable eco-building, and that's been another initiative that I've been working with there. Okay. So working with the local communities, key people, and Hands with Hands is like a bridge organisation that allows international donations, but also people with specific skills who would also go to Nepal and volunteer and work directly with the local communities as well. We've got a very strong local network of district committees, people working in the field, as well as that I have made connections with international organisations. The key organisations in the eco-building is Abari, and this has been a eco-building business/education facility which was initiated by Nepalis, the main person being Nirpal Adhikari, who has studied in the US architecture, and also he has other people in his team who have international skills. They are Nepali, and we were already working with them in the last 2 years to develop and work with solutions for eco-building in the villages, and we are now activating that in 2 ways. One is for the first response, to really get immediate help with short-term shelter, and we are now also focusing for the longer term how to sustainably rebuild. And of course we've also needed a lot of international help. So from Australia here there's been the Friends of India and Organic India, and they've been able to provide through their connections in India materials such as the organic cotton canvas directly on trucks that have now arrived into Nepal. and these now will be made into temporary shelters to help in the village, rural areas. How people can donate is they can firstly donate through Friends of India who have an Australian bank account. They can also donate to handswithhands.com. Friends of India is directly connected with Organic India. Friends of India and Organic India are directly supporting Abari. This is a primary need for Nepal. There is hundreds and thousands of houses that are going to need rebuilding. Abari cannot do it all. What I really love about the Nepali people is their ability to be transparent, to be present, to be open-hearted, their generosity, their willingness to meet you, to really meet. In the days right after the earthquake, I was walking around the streets in Kathmandu, and the number of people who would just walk by my side and just touch my arm and check, did I need something? Could they offer me some food or some water? And just the smile, even though they were showing me at the same time their house that had crumbled, they were looking, how could they help me? So this level of natural human compassion, this natural connectivity, has something that has deeply nurtured my own understanding and belief in humanity.
Satya dharma shanti prema swarupa prashanti nilaya deva. Satya dharma shanti prema swarupa prashanti nilaya.
We're trying to do something that's going to be sustainable, that's going to be long-lasting. Not just like a relief tent that's going to last for one monsoon and then have to be thrown out. We want to get something that is going to be long-lasting, 3 years minimum.
Sai Rama ho, Krishna ho, Sai Rama Deva. Satya